In my research, I found that self-made millionaires possess a series of qualities. If you have these qualities, your success is virtually guaranteed. And even if you don't currently possess them, the good news is that they can be learned. Firstly, it's important to understand that all business or sales skills are learnable. Similarly, all financial skills can be acquired. Just as you can learn to drive a car, you can learn any skill necessary for success. Now, point number 2. You're probably only one skill away from doubling your income. Yes, it's true. You're likely just one skill away from putting yourself on the path to becoming a self-made millionaire. And if you're not sure what that skill is, perhaps it will become evident as we spend time together. Whatever it may be, you need to identify it and start working on it, because it is indeed learnable. Some may say, "I've never been good with money." Well, it's time to change that mindset. The fact is, you can learn whatever you need to achieve your goals. As one of my seminar participants put it, money is like food. When you have enough, you don't think about it. But when you're deprived of it, it consumes your thoughts. More people are achieving financial independence and becoming self-made millionaires at a faster rate than ever before. And the majority of them are first-generation success stories. This means they started with little or nothing and earned their wealth from scratch. The fact that so many others have gone from rags to riches is proof that you can do it too. You just need to learn how. Becoming a self-made millionaire can be relatively simple. For instance, if you save just $100 per month from the age of 20 to 65 and invest it wisely, you could amass a significant sum by the time you retire. Ultimately, the most successful people in society are those who have a long-term perspective. They think and plan decades into the future, organizing their daily activities in alignment with their long-term goals. They think and plan 10, 20, and even 40 years into the future. Then, they organize their daily and weekly activities in such a way that everything they do is consistent with the long-term goals they want to achieve. This is especially true regarding achieving financial independence. Everyone has a series of goals, whether clear or fuzzy. Each of these goals is organized in a hierarchy, consciously or unconsciously, from the most important to the least important. The reason people fail to achieve financial independence is that, although it's a goal, it often isn't their primary goal. It's just one of many goals they think about from time to time. When it's time to act or spend, their other goals, like immediate pleasure and gratification, take precedence. It's only when you elevate the goal of financial independence to the top of your hierarchy of values that you begin to gain control of your financial life. Remember the great principle: you become what you think about most of the time. In thousands of interviews, researchers have found that self-made millionaires think about financial independence most of the time. They organize their entire lives around saving, accumulating, and continually seeking ways to earn, acquire, invest, and deploy their savings. The fact is, you're not going to win the lottery or inherit a large sum of money from a distant relative. The only way to achieve financial independence is with a long-term perspective by consistently saving and investing your money month after month and year after year, until you've accumulated enough to never worry about money again. For most people, money represents freedom, one of the highest human values. It enables you to be and do what you want, and to buy what you need without worrying about the cost. Freedom is a powerful driving force that has shaped human history. So, what are your personal values regarding money? It's essential to note that negative values concerning money can sabotage you throughout your life. One of the wisest things you can do is to admire, respect, and look up to people who have achieved financial success. You tend to move in the direction of what you admire and respect. The more you admire and respect financial success, the more likely you are to emulate the behaviors of financially successful people and eventually become financially successful yourself. Imagine your financial life was perfect in every respect. Picture your distant financial future as if every financial dream had been realized. What does it look like? How much would you like to be worth when you retire or stop working? What kind of lifestyle would you like to have at that time? How much will you have to save and invest every month, every year, to reach your long-term financial goals? These are questions that most people seldom ask or answer. Imagine that you have no limitations on your long-term ability to achieve financial independence. Imagine that you have all the time and all the resources you require, all the knowledge and experience you need, and all the contacts and opportunities you could ask for. If you could design your financial life to be perfect in every way, with no limitations, what would it look like? Imagine that you have finally achieved a net worth of $10 million. What would you do? How would you change your life if you were completely financially independent? Make up a dream list of every single thing you would want in your life, tangible and intangible, if you had all the money you would ever need. The greater clarity you have regarding your long-term financial future, the faster you will attract the people and resources that you will need to achieve it into your life, and the more rapidly you will realize your vision. In general, you should have 4 financial goals. First, you want to earn as much as you can. Second, you want to spend as little as you can. Third, you want to save and invest as much as possible. Fourth, you want to protect yourself against unexpected reversals and lawsuits. The achievement of each of these goals is very much under your control. Perhaps the best measure you can use if financial independence is your goal, is to determine how much money you will need each month, each year, to live comfortably, and then calculate how long you could sustain your current lifestyle on your current savings. This number is called your run rate, or your burn rate. It's a calculation of how long you can survive with what you have accumulated up to now, and it's the best measure of your overall financial health. This is a great focal point. Set clear financial goals and targets for each part of your financial life, both for the short term and for the long term. Examine every expenditure in your life, and look for ways to reduce your monthly living costs. Set a goal to cut your expenses by 10 or 20% over the next 90 days. Make cost control and cost cutting a regular part of your life, no matter how much you earn. Since you become what you think about most of the time, the more time you spend thinking about your money, the better you will become in terms of managing it. The first knowledge that you will require to achieve financial independence is the knowledge of exactly how much you are earning today, how much you are spending each month, and how much you are worth right now. You should keep a list of every dollar you spend and analyze your list regularly. The more attention you pay to your day-to-day spending, the smarter and more aware you will become regarding the amount of money flowing through your fingers. It's a rule that will virtually guarantee that you become wealthy over the course of your working lifetime. Save and invest 50% of any increase that you earn in your salary or compensation for the rest of your career. You can still spend the other 50% of the increase on improving your standard of living, but resolve today to save half of every increase for the rest of your career. This discipline alone will assure that you achieve financial independence, and probably several years before you expect to. Apply the 80-20 rule to your job every day. Identify the 20% of your tasks that account for 80% of the value of everything you do. Resolve to focus more and more of your attention on becoming better and better at those few activities that are worth more than all the rest. There are certain habits and behaviors that lead inevitably to financial success. The first and most important habit is for you to pay yourself first. As George Clason wrote in his classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Pay yourself first off the top. Your goal is to eventually save 10% to 20% of your income throughout your life. Your aim should be to put this amount away regularly, to invest it with experts, and to let it grow over time. If you cannot afford to save 10% of your income, begin by saving 1% of your income. Begin saving and investing even before you pay off your debts. Begin putting money away before you pay down the amounts that you owe. This is very important. By developing the habit of saving a certain percentage of what you earn off the top of every single paycheck, you will eventually change your entire attitude towards yourself and money. The most important habit you can develop to achieve financial independence is the habit of frugality. Carefully consider every expense before you make it. If possible, delay a large purchase for a day, a week, a month, or even longer. Take that time to think about it before you commit. Perhaps the most helpful habit of all is for you to learn to enjoy the very act of saving and investing. When you begin to look forward to every opportunity to put money away, you change your entire attitude toward money and investments. You begin to get tremendous pleasure and satisfaction from seeing your savings and investments grow over time. There are 4 activities that you should engage in every single day to guarantee that you achieve financial independence. The first is to carefully evaluate every expenditure before you make it. Delay every expenditure that you possibly can. Put it off until later, if you make it at all. The second thing that you should do is to set clear goals and targets for the amounts that you intend to earn and keep. Measure your results against these targets every week and every month. What gets measured gets done. The third activity is for you to look for ways to reduce your monthly expenditures and instead save the money. Cut out all non-essential expenses. Keep asking yourself, do I really need this? And if you don't buy it or don't spend it. Set it as a goal to reduce your monthly cost of living by as much as you can as quickly as possible. Remember, every dollar that you can save from your monthly expenses is an additional dollar that you can put into your financial freedom account. The fourth activity is for you to take every opportunity that you possibly can to increase your value, to increase your earning ability. Look for ways to upgrade your knowledge and skills. Concentrate on getting better at those activities that contribute the greatest value to yourself and your company. Become totally focused on making more and saving more every single day. Financial success is predictable. It has never been more possible for you to earn and keep more money than it is today. There are hundreds of thousands and even millions of self-made millionaires, all of whom started with nothing and who began using the practices and processes described in this session. Your job is to become one of them. Begin today. Imagine that there are 2 types of work that you do. There's work that we will call work number 1. This work is work that has big potential consequences. If you do this and you do it well, it makes a big difference in your life and your family and everything else. The other type of work you do are what we call number 2 work. This work has no potential consequences. So, the first category of work moves you toward your most important goals faster than anything else. This other type of work does not move you toward your goals, and even worse, it moves you away from your goals. All the examples of time that you waste doing things of no value. Here's a simple way to become one of the highest paid and most productive people in society. Do only number 1 tasks. Do only those things that are moving you every day toward the goals that you say you want to achieve. If you only do those things, the things that have great potential consequences, it transforms your life. Now here's another discovery. 95% of what you do comes from habit. And if you do something repeatedly over and over again, what do you develop? You develop a new habit. You've heard the rule, the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, where the top 20% of salespeople make 80% of the sales, and the bottom 80% of salespeople make 20% of the sales. Do you know what the difference, the ratio is there? The ratio is the difference between 16 to 1. The average income of people in the top 20% is 16 times the average income of the people in the bottom 80%. Now let me ask you a question. Does it mean that the people in the top 20% are 16 times better than the people in the bottom 80%? 16 times more experienced? Do they work 16 times the number of hours? Do they have 16 times the number of years of education? Are they 16 times more handsome? Are they 16 times anything? You know that it's not humanly possible to be twice as smart as somebody else. I'm not sure if you're looking at very, very unintelligent people and very, very brilliant people, which is really not humanly possible, on average, for us to even be twice as smart as anybody else. But 20% of these people are making 16 times the average in our society. It is a lot of controversy over why should I work so hard for my job. The fact of the matter is that less than 5% really succeed. That's less than 5% of the population really succeeds at life. If I have 100 people working today, only 1 will be wealthy when they retire. 4 will be financially independent. 15 will have some savings. 80% will be broke and dependent upon charities and pensions. Only 1 or 2% of people in each generation really make it in life. And in every single study, those people who make it are those who work hard, hard, hard. And if you think that it's hard to be successful, try being a failure. Try coming to the end of the trail with no money, dependent upon pensions, and you don't know what hard is until you try living like that. But if you work hard, the average self-made millionaire in America works 12 to 13 hours a day, works about 60 to 65 hours a week. I'll tell you this, with regard to hard work, that you in our society only work 8 hours a day for survival. Everything over 8 hours is for success. And if you're only working 8 hours a day, you're in trouble. If you're only working 8 hours a day, you better have a rich uncle, or you better have somebody else who's going to take care of you, because 8 hours a day only gets you survival in our society. Because it's so competitive that somebody else is working 9. They've got an edge on you. Somebody else is working 10. They've got a bigger edge on you. Every hour over 8 that you invest is an investment in your future, is an investment in your success. And if you put in the hours over 8, whether it's studying or reading or working, if you put in the hours, it will pay off. And it will pay off in spades. It's like throwing seed in the ground. When you throw a seed in the ground, the plant that comes up is not just one seed, it's hundreds of seeds. There's a crop that you put in, but you must put the seed in the ground first. The market only pays excellent rewards for excellent performance. It pays average rewards for average performance. It pays below average rewards for below average performance. And I talk to men and women all over America, who are unhappy and sad, and they don't like their work. And you know why? It's because they're not good at what they're doing. So, your earning ability is the most powerful and most valuable financial asset you have. And your earning ability, by definition, is your ability to get results that people will pay you for. Now this doesn't mean that you are not a valuable person. Each human being is of incredible value. But some people's earning ability is much higher than others, and your earning ability is an asset. So it can be either increasing in value or decreasing in value. Now here's what the studies have found. The 80-20 rule. They found that the bottom 80% of people, the ones who struggle for money and worry about money all their lives, these people, when they take their first job, will work to a certain level, and then they will level off and never improve for the rest of their lives unless they're forced to. And so therefore, 10 years after starting work, the average person today is no more productive at getting results than they were after 1 year. But they find that the people in the top 20% are very different. The people in the bottom 80% increase their income about 2 or 3% per year over the years. The top 20% increase their income at an average of about 11% per year. If your income goes up 11% per year, you will double your income every 6 or 7 years. And then you will double it again, and then you'll double it again, and soon you live in a beautiful house, and you drive a nice car, and you send your children to private schools, and you have a nice bank account, and you'll be happy. But if you don't keep increasing your income, nothing good will happen. Now what is the difference? The answer is, the people in the bottom 80% don't learn anymore after they leave school. But the people in the top 20% are always learning new things. And as a result, they are increasing their earning ability. People in the top 10% in every field think in terms of their hourly rate, how much they earn each hour. Now this change in thinking changes your entire life. I know because I've taught this principle to thousands of people who literally transform their lives and their incomes almost overnight. If you think in terms of how much you earn in a week or a month, well then, you have a natural tendency to waste time during the day. Monday is a slow day. You're recovering from the weekend. Tuesday, you start to work. Wednesday, the week is almost over. Thursday, you start to slow down, and now it's Friday. Who gets anything done on Friday? We'll do it on Monday. So, people's ability to produce drops. And since 80% of the population thinks like this, if you're not careful, you'll find you are surrounded by people who waste time. When you start thinking in terms of your hourly rate, it transforms your life. Poor folks have poor ways. It's really hard to get over poor folks' poor ways. Always remember that poor folks have poor ways. They think poor, they think cheap, they think saving is spending as little as possible, and they think about the little money they have. But you find that successful people have successful thinking. They think very, very differently than poor people. So remember, poor folks have poor ways, but rich folks have rich ways.